All right then, Oakland, bring the noise! Oh yes, Intel Extreme Masters back here in the Oracle for day 2 of the Intel Extreme Masters. 300 large is on the line, a share of that for the victor, and that silver pizza platter come trophy. And it is great to be back here again. Yesterday, quarterfinals day, it was great, CS. You were great as well. Today, it is the semifinals and it's the finals. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? That's what we want to hear, because we have got such a great day in store for you. The first team we are going to welcome out, we haven't seen them here yet because they got through the group stages straight to semifinals. They are Astralis. So here we are then, the big stage of the Intel Extreme Masters, straight through to the semi-finals. How did you feel you played in the groups?
We had a tough start against G2. We lost Nuke, which was one of our key maps this tournament, so it wasn't really that great. But I mean, like, we bounced back and we won the 4 last matches, so we're overall satisfied.
Do you feel you're firing at the moment?
I mean, like, we just had 3 days off, so yeah, we're kind of fired up to like play now. We've waited a long time, I have to say, but yeah.
Does it help you when you miss out on playing in the quarterfinals, straight through to the semis, the fact that you had a day off yesterday from competitive action, does that help or does that hinder?
We had 3 days off because we played on Wednesday. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, how does 3 days, does that help or does that hinder?
I mean, like, if we didn't have the chance to play, it would have hindered us, I would say, but we've practiced all 3 days, so I think we're fine.
So you take on an SK, it seems like the level of CS at the moment is so high, map choice, super important. What have you chosen and why have you chosen it?
We chose Mirage. It was either going to be like Mirage and Nuke. They banned Nuke, so it was Mirage. They've like perma-banned it this tournament, so I think we're pretty confident going into that map.
Now let's talk about Astralis as an outfit. As this lineup now, as Astralis yourselves, you've never won a meaningful tournament so far. A big tournament, over a certain amount of money. Over a certain amount of money. But this whole storyline of only getting to semi-finals, is that done as a storyline? Is that still in your head at all?
I mean, at least we're in a semi-final now. That's a long time since last time. But I wouldn't say it sticks to us. We're just here to show that we like improved as a team and we can like win tournaments.
You didn't answer. Is it still in your head at all, the fact that you're not getting past semi-finals?
It would be a lie to say no. Obviously, it stays in your head. I wouldn't say it hinders anyone. It's something you work with as an individual or as a team. You speak about it. Like, if you just ignore it and like say that you don't think about it, it's a lie, right? But I wouldn't say it's something that psychs me. It did previously, but now it's just like I want to show the world, and we want to show the world that it's something that stuck with us for a long time, but it's not something that sticks now.
And there's one way to sort that out, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just to win today.
There you go. Put your hands together for Astralis. They are ready to win this. To put that hoodoo to bed. And to do that, they're going to have to take on the team that you would possibly call the best team in the world at the moment. They've won the last 2 majors. They are SK Gaming. Fallen, it is a fabulous response for you again from this Oakland crowd. How ready are you for semi-finals day?
100% ready. We're ready for today. It's going to be a great day. And we're starting today against Astralis. It's going to be a tough match, but we're prepared.
I was talking to some fans after yesterday. All anyone could talk about was how on fire you were.
How on fire? Yeah, I had some luck yesterday. That was a great game. Didn't have a good start on Nuke, but after that, I think I found myself in the game. And today I'm expecting the same as the first map Train, so I'm looking forward to a good match.
Well, because Train, I mean, you are the best in the world at Train, aren't you?
It's an easy map.
And let's just talk about how you are playing as a team. Now, I'm paraphrasing what our analysts have said, so, you know, take it out on them for this. They said you're not firing 100% at the moment. You're still to get back to that SK best that you've been at over the past 12 months.
Yeah, being honest, we have been playing so many tournaments over this year. It's at the same time, it's amazing. On the other hand, sometimes it's difficult because I'm very stressed. I'm looking forward for vacation soon, so we're trying to give our best here in the last tournaments, and I hope we're going to give you guys from Oakland and everyone on the internet a great show today.
Well, we're looking forward to it. It's a best of 3. You better join your team. So then, our first semi-final today, as Fallen goes over to SK, it is Astralis taking on SK. Oakland, are you ready for this? Let's go wild and hand it over to the Xfinity analyst desk and the man with the freshest gooch in all of esports.
Holy moly. TMI, OJ, okay, thanks. Hundreds of thousands of people are now aware of the status of my body hair for charity, of course.
And of the maps as well.
Huh?
And of the maps.
And the maps, yeah, Yanko's tilted. Thanks very much, OJ, how dare you. But already he's got Device talking about the vetoes, so I guess myself, YNK, and Daze should probably start this discussion, just getting the vetoes out of the way. Let's recap what Device did say then, as Astralis SK do take on. What were your initial thoughts prior to Device telling us what was going down?
I thought it was a very open map veto, because you would think that the bans are set in stone as well. SK vetoing Cash, Astralis vetoing Cobble, but seeing as how Astralis doesn't really play Cash, that's their second ban after Cobble, SK can also try and gamble and leave that in if they want to ban something else. And you can see that they did go for that nuke ban, realizing that it's a weak point for them, and that would probably be Astralis' pick.
So, I mean, if you look at this one then, Dazed, SK do get Train, Astralis get Mirage. In your mind, do you believe that Astralis' Mirage is in the same category as SK's Train? I assume not.
No, I don't. But at the same time, Astralis has looked very good on Train. I mean, against Navi, they crushed them, and against Liquid, they crushed them. I believe on Navi, they went like 3-12 on T-side. Like, I think they won 12 T-side rounds or something. Then against Liquid, what did they win? 16-1. 16-1, Alex. So their Train is something that they're confident in. And because they're confident, they're okay with it going through. And has SK's Train, G2, we saw, they basically knew that they would lose if they played straight up. We don't know if it's been tested recently with as good of a Train team as Astralis is.
And this was a statistic we brought up yesterday, but it bears repeating. SK Gaming, of the 27 times that they've played Train on LAN, they have conceded just 2 losses. That is what is so crazy. Of course, the last time they actually lost on Train was to G2, who they did again meet on Train here at IEM Oakland, but not quite the repeated success for the French side. We saw them destroyed, actually, almost by SK.
Yeah, an incredibly strong side on Train. It's their CT side that's very, very intimidating. Fallen on that CT side with the AWP, very aggressive, very solid, manages to create a lot of openings for the team. Even towards that B side, he goes all the way towards stairs. Taco flashes him in. The double up setup as well, called Zero, when he picks it up sometimes towards the Ivy area. And then when you switch to the T side as well, we saw it yesterday that they started off as T against G2. Very, very dominating performance. Even when they had like weak buys, half buys with Tech 9s, they could still make things happen.
Now, we have to address Astralis for a moment. It does seem like we've actually got to be quite swift with this one. So let's just quickly highlight the fact that we have got Astralis with Glade moving into the roster, and then for SK, the loss of Zeus. These are the 2 points I wanted to hit, Dave. Which would you prefer to steal? We want to talk about that Zeus roster? You want to see seeing that coaching presence taken away from SK? Or do you want to highlight Glade's arrival in Astralis?
Well, we'll talk about SK and the coaching for me. I don't think they need a coach. I really don't. Like, they know what they're doing. I think Fallen has like a really good grasp on the game. I don't really think he needs that much help. Especially when you get a coach. I think the coach's main influence is going to be at the very start of the team if you already have a structured team, just to bring in like fresh ideas and things of that nature. So if they want a coach, yeah, maybe it'll be really influential for like the first, few months or something. They can implement some of those new ideas. But over time, unless those ideas keep being fresh and new, if it's just standard, things, then Fallen has that under control. So you probably don't really need that.
Right. So I mean, we know Fallen is a completely praised and admired in-game leader in his own right. Zeus was just a bit of a bouncing board for some of their ideas.
I think teams like SK don't necessarily need a coach, but I think every team can benefit from having an analyst, just having someone who will help the in-game leader, help the team with preparation. right? We were talking with Zeus actually the other day outside the stream, and he was talking about Liquid. Actually, Liquid players are very willing to help him out. Like Nitro would tell him, "Hey, I'll help you like prepare for the NIP game. I'll watch the demos from NIP." So that basically takes workload from one person. Right? You have multiple people doing it, different points of view as well. So I think that can benefit any team.
Now, with the first map being Train, we have just a couple of closing thoughts on this map and expectations for this one, Sam. You have always been very impressed by SK's Train.
I actually think this veto really favors Astralis, and I'm much more confident in Astralis actually beating SK than I was beforehand. Because I was assuming that, you know, their Train might not be like, I think their Train is almost as good as SK's. And then Overpass, I think their Overpass might be better. SK, I'm not that confident in it because Astralis beat them at E-League on Overpass. So if you're Astralis and you're very confident on Overpass, maybe they beat them there, and then they have 2 maps to win 1 map, essentially. If it goes to a 3rd map, you got to favor Astralis just because they have already beaten them.
I also think it's very important to take into account, because of the fact how SK is favored and how strong their train is, that Astralis is coming into this first map very, very relaxed, knowing that, you know, this is a map that they're not expected to win, but they're a very, very, you know, good team on train as well. Even before, the problem with them was they were never willing to pick train. They would always leave train in the pool, but they never had the confidence to pick it themselves. But they had some very, very good results on the map. So I think that can really benefit them. They can get into this first map without any pressure.
And it is worth repeating what Device said on stage. We have had 3 days off, and you know you're likely going to meet SK. What do you prepare? You look at that train, that undefeatable train. This could be really an awesome first start to the semi-final.
And you know what? Even if they do drop that train, like Yanko said, they have Mirage. That's their map pick. Then they have Overpass, a map they just beat them on.
You feel like coming into this best of 3, if you're favoring SK, it kind of has to be a 2-0. Because if it comes to that Overpass game, it's been one of those maps that SK was actually picking after Mirage for a while as their first pick, but they just, like some of the other maps, they seem to be, you know, struggling to find their groove on it.
I mean, I don't know if it necessarily has to be a 2-0, just because I still think they could beat them on Overpass, but you know, you'd have to favor Astralis.
Giving Astralis the edge, and that, my friends, is incredibly exciting for us to hear, and also our caster to hear. And as the relentless Astralis fanboy alongside Pablo Semlabar, I think is what we saw tweeted. Either way, the casters are going to be guiding you through train after a very short break. Let's get into our first semi-final.
Intel Extreme Masters Oakland is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, G Fuel, Kingwin, iBuyPower, Best Buy, Totino's, Acer, and Xfinity.
it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready with the first semi-finals here at Intel Extreme Masters Oakland. It's going to be SK versus Astralis. Are you ready for it, Semler?
I am ready, yes.
What's going to happen here?
I think what's going to happen is SK Gaming are going to cut Astralis' face.
That's brutal analysis. I like it, though.
Okay, I'll drop the act. Let's get into it. So, I mean, SK, this is their map. This is their turf. This is where they excel. It's Train. Yes, they made the point on the desk that Astralis have been fighting back on Train, that they're obviously feeling a bit confident on the map, but this is still SK Gaming's home turf. So, we're going to get into the pistol. We're not wasting any time here. SK Gaming are going to be dictating the pace as well. They start on T side.
Yes, indeed. And I'm not even sure that's that much of a disadvantage. They know, and everybody knows, they only need so many rounds on T. I mean, even if they get like 4 or 5, you still have to be worried because the CT side is such a lockdown. So we'll see how it goes. They're already taking control of the halls. And right now, they are, you can tell by all of their positions right now on the map, they are expecting Astralis to be aggressive.
Which is impressive because Astralis, they're the opposite. They're as passive as could be. Kirby shoulder peeking towards Ali. The rest of them just holding back on the side. Xyp9x and Device are so passive on that B side. They are worried about just getting rushed down. They don't want to hold close.
The constellation of grenades here on SK very heavily suggests that they could end up going for a B play with the Molotov being left behind on Cold Zero. Now, Glaive does have the counter to it in his one smoke. We talk about this all the time, but in pistol rounds, it has been very popular for a while. So curious to see how they're going to end up doing it. So a lot of this round could come down to the one Molotov and that one smoke. We'll see. They are congregating towards the B bomb side. Device and Xyp are far enough back that they're going to get smoked out, and it'll have to be blind shots for the smoke if they connect.
We have a stop.
Oh, in the middle of all of that. And actually, Fallen had already put out one grenade, so that's a little bit of a shame. But I do think they're all asking to replay the round. Yeah, you guys can't see that, but we can.
Maybe it's Dupree? Or Glaive? Glaive isn't typing. Okay, sorry guys. Well, that's a shame. I mean, it was right when they're about to pull the trigger as well, but apparently we had just a little bit of a hiccup there, and so Astralis called for a stop and a replay, and I think they should get it because nothing had been shown by SK Gaming's side. Well, apart from the fact that they wanted to slow play it, they didn't go for a rush round, so that might force SK to try and change things up, but as far as like the actual strat is concerned, Astralis didn't get to see what SK had in store for them. Still, I think Fallen and Cold are going to be feeling pretty frustrated with this. Because you've kind of showed your hand. You showed that, hey, we're actually going to slow play it in the pistol. Now, are you going to keep doing it, or are you going to try and change it up and go for a rush?
The same is true for Astralis. You know, are they going to try and peek this time around if they know that that might be happening? I think the safe bet in this kind of situation is to stick to what you planned. You know, don't get too anxious and throw everything out the window already.
This is tough now. The mind games are going to start setting in here for everybody. Do you change up how you approach that pistol round? Are you going to go aggressive on Astralis' side? You're right. Is SK going to go for the same kind of strat? And it looks like it is the same kind of strat here from SK Gaming, at least as far as the nades are concerned. But they might try and change up the pace.
Well, you see FNX they're probably going to change the timing a little bit, but you see FNX is down, you know, looking towards Ivy. He's just expecting someone will be there. Fallen is the main. Taco's up here on the stairwell, ready and waiting. So they're right now doing the exact same thing. There's a little bit of a different setup for Astralis. Xyp is very close to that ramp.
So making some adjustments here. Xyp9x willing to be close for the shoulder peek. And also the knowledge, the sound, basically, if you can hear the footsteps, anybody stomping around up there, that would be valuable information that he wouldn't have had in the first time around on the pistol round when he was holding so far back behind the second train. So Device rotating back towards A. This is going to get tricky. 1:10 left on this clock here. And now it's going to start getting to that point where SK Gaming are going to need to make their play. But SK Gaming now is exactly, they're only just getting Brown Hall's control now. Whereas in the last round, they had it really early on. So this might be a little bit of a tell where Astralis are going to start getting worried. And yeah, Device and Xyp9x have fallen way back. And this is now the same setup that we had before the stop in the first round.
It really is, and we already know for that first round that Fallen's going to put down that grenade between the two lanes. That's the sort of classic SK smoke that we've been seeing so much on the T side, and it really works well. Now, can they get in there, and can they save that Molotov? Are they going to use it early on? That's a big question. Already running in, Cold Zero's already put it out, so it's not going to be for the plant. They're just trying to see if they can win this round straight up. Taco almost getting caught, knives in hand there. That would have been horrifying, but it's a 5-on-5 retake until Taco going to take out Glaive.
Excellent work there by Taco, using the the edge of the smoke. Clever play here from SK. They've thought it all out. Now it's tough for Astralis. They have to try and take the fight, but they're taking damage. FNX finds the kill on Dupree. These long-range headshots and then the follow-up. Getting the kill, another headshot for Taco. 2 so far in the pistol for him. Cold is going to go ahead and just hunt down Kirby, and it is Device on 2 HP. They just got completely railroaded, Astralis.
And Fallen, even with the headshot, waiting out in the A yard. Very good job. It's a very solid round coming out of SK. And I mean, almost a little bit disappointing because Astralis, they were playing for the retake anyway, but it didn't seem like they had a very good plan for that retake. It just seemed like they were sort of, well, let's just hope we'll win the USP fights. But there wasn't any sort of like, 6 set of flashbangs they could have got to, in there to get back in. So a little bit of a shame.
It feels like it relied heavily on them getting headshots when they tried to come down ramp, and they just did not happen for Astralis whatsoever. They were not able to connect. When you're on CT side, you really want to stop the Ts from pushing up to connector, from getting that aggression going, and Astralis never really got into the round, it feels. So a little bit of a shaky start here for Astralis on the CT side of Train. 1-0 now for SK Gaming, and SK Gaming, they go for the standard sort of play for them. 2 rifles, 3 SMGs, kind of spreading it out a little bit. And Astralis, they go for the force buy. This is a team that has skipped Kevlar in the past in the pistol round to prioritize nades in the 4th round. So I'm interested to see this change already here, going for the Kevlar, making that investment in the 2nd round.
It's one of those things where, again, they know what a tough opponent they have in SK here. Maybe they just feel like going a little bit crazy early on, trying to see if they could, I mean, obviously, if they steal this map away, SK are in some deep trouble, so.
Yeah, I do agree with the sentiment on the desk that this kind of needs to be a 2-0 for SK Gaming. If it goes to 3 maps, that's, you start getting into Astralis territory over and overpass, and it's not going to be looking too hot for SK, so a bit of pressure on SK as well. But like I said at the beginning of this is still SK Gaming's map, and they're dominant on this map. So you can see why. That was a very well-executed pistol. They had thought out all the different options there.
It really was. And once again, we're seeing an incredibly slow round. Almost, I would say, a little bit of a problem now. We're down to 28 seconds. This is not a lot of time. If anything goes wrong in this push, that's going to be very bad. A great grenade landing in the back there on Device. Now they're going to try and push in, and Sip gets overrun. That's a very fine start. Device trying to see if he can stay alive, but I think Fur could even see his feet. So, in spite of the huge delay in actually executing this round, once they do it, it works out just fine. So good job on SK.
Now, we have seen a tendency from SK over the past couple of tournaments to heavily favor certain bomb sites. Between A or B, they'll just repeatedly go to one of them, and this almost feels like SK are... That process of having to reinvent yourself, this is what a team has to do to stay on top, to be the best in the world, and to maintain that win streak. You constantly have to be adapting, trying to change up your game. SK, they were a very aggressive style team, right? They weren't afraid to go for very quick strats for the longest period of time, but now it feels like over the past couple of tournaments, we've seen some very slow-paced strats coming out from SK Gaming, where they're willing to wait repeatedly until 20 seconds, 30 seconds left in the round before they make their play, and then they still go to the same site. So...
And I mean, if you're SK and Astralis don't ban this map, you have to assume that that's because they've been spending the last couple of days just watching your demos. So you also have to sort of try and change your tactics just a little bit, because otherwise they're going to read it very well. But, I mean, right now, all credit to SK. They keep 2 of the UMPs. They keep them at 10 there on Fur, so they can easily sacrifice some of these players, run in, see what's up. There's limited armor, some of the players surviving there, but it should be a quick 3-0 for them. I don't know if quick because they are being very slow, but it should be easy.
That's a tough break for Astralis. They haven't picked up a single kill. And here we go, that change of pace. SK Gaming now showing their hand early, saying that we're willing to go for quick plays as well. It's not just going to be the slow stuff here. Astralis will be able to pick up 1 kill. They finally get 1 kill on the board. They aren't going to get the round, but that's a bonus $300 in Kirby's pocket at least.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, right? So better late than never, I suppose. It's Kirby to go down last. And Cold Zero with a quad kill there with the UMP, so that's going to be a lot of money. 8,400 at the beginning of this round for him. But now it's the real test. Device is going to be picking up the AWP, and we have got limited grenades, not a lot of Molotovs being picked up here, and I'm just waiting for Sit to see who's going to be investing in the defuse kit. Anyone? Nobody.
Okay, then.
That worries me.
Yeah, that does worry me as well. SK Gaming are pretty good at getting that bomb planted. They can mess up sometimes in the after plant situations where they aren't able to quite hold correctly, but getting that bomb planted, they're so good at it. And I was wondering when they were going to go for this strat right here. There's the smoke blocking it off, the flash right through. Fur goes barreling into it, and he lines them up. Double spray. It couldn't work better for SK. What a situation now Astralis find themselves in. This is a disaster.
Wow. that lineup from Fur, that's all they needed. That blew that A defense completely up. And Sip, who was alone over at the B bomb site, gonna have to just cower and wait and see if he can maybe save this gun. That was the strat that we've seen a million times before. The smoke in between the trains, the flashbang through, and I mean, again, we're sort of theorizing that Astralis must have been watching the demos, right? They should be able to read it. Now, it is hard because that flashbang comes right through, but still, they got to do something right.
It's just so fast. I think that's the main thing. SK, they might not even just run it again. They might just leave it, right? Oh, we'll just throw it out there. You're going to make adjustments, and now we're going to... Their playbook is so deep on Train SK that they don't necessarily need to just stick to one strat once it's been figured out. Zipnik should be able to save this AK. No problem at all for him. Just check it. All right, nope, never mind. That's awkward. But yeah, it's that smoke that blocks it off, and then the flash right through. You get right onto Ali. It works perfectly. It doesn't matter that Fur dies after that. He more than did his job. Even if he trades 1-for-1 in that scenario, it favors SK. So just a brutal start here for Astralis. SK are not letting them get their feet under them.
Astralis did also leave the door open for SK to do that, just because they're being so defensive, right? That strat works much better when there's no one holding close to main, you know, where Fallen is right now. If there's anyone near this area from the CT side, then it's a little bit less effective. This is around where they just have them for. So.
And that was the lesson that we got when we really watched SK go to town with this strat. It was versus Na'Vi. The first time around, Na'Vi had no idea what to do with it. They just got completely run over. And then the second time they faced, they started making adjustments. They started figuring out, right, okay, if Seized holds close to A main, if Edward pushes up to Electric, like we can start trying to cut off that smoke, or at least stop them from walking out for free. So just that one strat is so fun and fascinating. Like, we'll see if SK Gaming go back to it here later on. They might wait a little bit before they use it again, but they're leading 5-0 right now. SK Gaming are just running over Astralis. Now, this is the big round for Astralis because they finally have quite a few nades to work with. It's only Device. He went for the AWP. He has the smoke flash, but the rest of his teammates are fully equipped, 2 kits as well. So this is the big round now for Astralis to make something happen for themselves.
Something else that should worry you if you're on the Astralis side here is the fact that Cold Zero is 7-0 right now. I mean, it's still early days, but when he gets fired up, it's not a good sign. Whoa!
Okay, then.
Device taking out Taco. It looked like he was almost making it around the corner then, but not quite. That's a good start.
Yeah. I mean, 1 bullet as well. Usually it's the M4, somebody kind of spraying in there, tapping with it. Not going to happen this time. Device puts his foot down. And so the entry fragger is gone for SK Gaming. Fur, however, has shown that he's willing to go first on that A site, so we'll see if he's going to lead the way here on B. It looks like that's going to be the case. Cold is going to be there to back him up with some grenades. Fallen and FNX in position as well, and well, we haven't really seen Fallen go ham yet with the AWP. So we'll see if he can actually create some space here for his teammates going into it. There's the flash, but the incendiary is perfectly timed to throw off SK there in their stride.
Again, Device and Sip are really far back on the bomb side, so they're going to allow for the bomb plant here. They do have a kit on Glaive and 1 on Kirby, so it's a little bit better this time. Fur charging up close with the AK. If he can get a kill quick, that's going to be great, but he gets trapped there. Kirby taking him out, Device, and then it's just all Astralis, not even the bomb plant here. Very solid defense coming out. And actually, I still think Fur had the right idea. It sort of looked like, it sort of, you know, with hindsight, it looked like that was the kill that they just needed, but I think he had the right idea then.
Oh, I'm silly. Never mind. I thought he got the wallbang shot from A.
No, he was so quick up on, what looks so crazy is because it looked like Taco had already made it around the corner, right? He actually had to overpeak that angle Device to get the kill, which is a big risk.
Then you have to wonder where Cold is, because usually that tag team over there, Cold watching for upper approach. So, SK is showing a little bit of a gap there, maybe getting a little overconfident. Just a hiccup here. It wasn't a tactical, it was a technical pause, but we'll be getting right back into it again. Just to remind you all, each team has 4 30-second timeouts that they can use, tactical pauses that they can use throughout the map. They can do those at any time, so we'll see. Right now, Astralis, with a win like that, they should be feeling pretty comfortable. They don't need to go for the timeout just yet, but if they were to lose in the next round here, in this round, it might be that pause coming in to try and talk over what needs to be adjusted here to stop SK Gaming from running away with this first half.
They have the first round on the board, Astralis, that's good news. They put up the Molotov and then run through it. Are they going to expect a Taco? Look at the timing, but oh, Device! The body system in effect here. Sip doing a lot of damage, but he's not going to be able to get the kill. Can they make the cross here with the bomb? You see them shoulder peeking. Fur doesn't want to go, and the grenade is going to be raining in. FNX is out of the round. They're still pushing up aggressively. Cold Zero going to hit the headshot on Kirby, and now 2 versus 3 here. Glaive wins the fight against Fallen, and the bomb is not down yet.
No, in fact, it is this duel. Fur's pushed up, but Glaive seems to realize that he's got to fall back just in time. Maybe Fur made some noise. Dupree gets the drop on him, and they have bomb control. Now it's all on Cold, pushed up solo. And SK Gaming trying to create the space, going for a chaos round, and this is what can happen. Astralis, they still managed to battle their way back into an advantageous position.
This is so weird because actually SK are playing this so well. I mean, first of all, the mind game with running through your own Molotov is beautiful Counter-Strike, and it caught Sip completely off guard. It's the only device that sort of saved that round for them. Then SK, once they have site control, they run all the way to where the CTs are entering, and that's what you should do. The problem is they don't get the bomb down. That's the one component that's missing, and the same last round here. They really do need that. Cold Sierra, 25 seconds here for a 1-on-2. That's very hard, if not almost impossible to do, because he has to get the bomb plant. Almost impossible for him to find both the kills. He's going to make his way around the corner, and Glaive going to save the round there with a double kill.
Nice work. And this is the start. Unfortunately for Taco, that's just an unlucky break, basically. The guy gets around with like 1 HP, basically, back around the train. He should have had that kill. And then a 1-for-1 trade, that still works. But unfortunately for him, it doesn't pan out. And Astralis put the second round on the board here, although that was a very expensive round. So they still aren't able to really build that economy. SK Gaming with that 5-0 lead, and especially the fantastic start that they had, they still have the bank for a full buy.
Yes, they're still very much in it, and because Astralis did so little damage in the early rounds, I mean, SK continued to buy, even without the bomb plants here, they still had the money to go for this round, which is a great round for them, and they can still break their backs here. 5-2, and again, I think 5 rounds, it's already putting a bit of smile on SK's face, so right now it's all on Astralis to try and shut this round down, just shut the whole half down.
Yeah, they should be feeling good about this, SK Gaming. They've got a strong enough start, they know that Astralis' economy is weak, and so they know that if they just manage to put together a solid round here, which is why I think they're going back to default. They're like, okay, it's time to slow play it here, take a little bit of a breather, and see if Astralis are going to give us a way onto the site rather than trying to force it. But they know that they have Astralis on the ropes. Astralis are not in control yet. 2-5, with SK still in the lead.
The bomb is dropped all the way back there, so only now, again, a lot of these rounds beginning with SK just making sure that Astralis aren't trying to be sneaky at all, which, in fairness, they haven't been yet. Now they're going to go back, and this could be a sort of wall of smokes type setup. You can see them setting up on that container there, which is the classic tell that that's what's happening here. And there are 3 people, but look how far back they are. Again, Astralis don't have anyone forward in the bomb site. That's a big problem.
They're going to make it look like it, and then it's going to be the A main push behind this, but FNX is solo at Pop Dog with that bomb. This is a scary scenario. If FNX dies here out in the open, the bomb is going to be lost. There's the spray from Glaive. He catches him. FNX down to 10, and he gets caught by Dupree from on high.
And now we're down to 12 seconds. You're absolutely right. That bomb getting dropped, definitely a big problem. Fur, he is trying to put it down, but look at Glaive charging in. 7 seconds left here for a 1-on-4. It's all on Fallen with the AWP. Just has to try and see if he can save it, but he can't. Device will take him out. And that was actually the one weakness there, just the bomb getting caught.
It's just random spray as well. When that smoke goes down, Glaive is just hoping to get lucky, and sure enough, it works perfectly between him and Dupree. They drop that bomb out in the open. Then Astralis know exactly what's happening. They know exactly what's going on. Even with those smokes going down, it's a tell. But once you see that bomb, you know on the CT side, that's it. Rotate in and lock it all down. SK Gaming just not able to handle it right now. They go for a half buy in this round, it looks like, SK. Let's see. Yeah, half buy this round just to manage their money and to set it up for the next round so that they can get a full buy going into it. So see what they have in store for us here now that they're just going for the Tech 9s and a few nades.
It is a very good job for Astralis, at least, that the three rounds they won here, SK haven't got the bomb down. They're denying them a very good economy, so that's obviously important here. Glaive wants to go and peek, going to be flashed in for a quick kill, and they can't even refrag that. FNX tries, but it's too late. Going to take the fight with Dupree, who picks up 2 kills, and that's Fallen and Cold Sierra left.
They're getting warmed up, Astralis. That's some flawless play there with that pop flash going straight into main. Glaive is going to go ahead and hold his own versus Fallen. Device with a kill. And now it's Astralis who are starting to survive these rounds with 5 players alive. And now the money is starting to come together. Very solid stuff here for Astralis. 4 rounds in a row. Bit streaky. I mean, SK with the 5 round in a row, and then Astralis coming back. But it is good to see the Danes able to put up a fight here, and that it's not just the SK show just running right through them. Because, I mean, in the quarterfinals, it was a pretty one-sided affair for both of our quarterfinals.
Yes, indeed it was. This is looking a little bit different. Now they're going to try and change the pace. SK, they've been so slow in the beginning. Now they're right out in the yard, but already Fallen going to go down to that Molotov Cold Zero with the refrag, and Fur taking a lot of damage. Just makes it around the corner here. It is a 4-on-4, but look at the health that's left. One grenade there is going to take down FNX, and they're going to try and boost up in the middle of it. The bomb is actually stuck right there. They're going to have to go and try and pick it up. Taco, he doesn't get caught, and it will be a bomb plant.
Good thing for him, but now it's going to be Glaive trying to wrap on him too quick. Taco not able to get his gun out in time. Excellent play there by Glaive, and now a two-man advantage here for Astralis going into the retake. Fur, he's got one angle, and then you have Cold Zera over by main, but Astralis don't need to really rush this. They've got the nade superiority, a perfect flash there onto Fur, and that's going to open it up, but he's going to find the kill on Kirby. He has no way out. The flames are blocking him.
They're running out of time right now for the defuse, but it is finally going to happen there. They only had 8 health between the two there, Fur and Cold Zero, so it would have been mad if they could have won that 2v4. Another good round for Glaive, in fact. He's got a triple kill. He's also top fragging on Astralis right now with just 8 kills, but it's still obviously looking quite good for them. That ties up the game at a 5-5 scoreline, and that's the first time in those 5 rounds that SK even got the bomb down.
That bomb plant is huge for SK. You can see now they actually have a very solid buy going into this. Full rifles, enough nades to work with. But I think the frustration is going to start mounting here on SK Gaming's side just because they're not finding any success. They're changing up the pace. They're going slow round. They're going for rush rounds. They're really trying to just brute force it through Astralis, and it's not working. Astralis are showing that they're resilient, that they're able to withstand these aggressive plays coming in from SK Gaming. So now Fallen really has to start scratching his head and trying to figure out what is actually going to work here versus the Danes, because Debris catches out Fur looking the wrong way.
Almost looked for a moment like Fur was caught sleeping there,
yeah,
which is a bit unfortunate. No time for that, obviously. Taco and FNX, I think they want to try and get this round back by sneaking into Ivy and just picking up a kill. You see Taco setting up for the underhand flash. He's very good at this type of play, gonna run right into Kirby, but not gonna be this time. Kirby was far enough back that he wasn't flashed, and Taco ends up going down.
And no reply there from FNX. No follow through. Taco just sacrifices himself for free for nothing. FNX dies, so he isn't even able to bring it back. And Cold Zera will be the only one to get a kill this round. These have been just dominant rounds from Astralis, but we're seeing some hesitation on SK Gaming's side. I mean, in that sort of scenario, I would like to see FNX, even if he thinks he's going to die, he just needs to throw himself in there. You have to get the trade. If Taco sacks himself for free, you have to get in there, get that trade, and at least have something to show for it. Dupree catching Fur, that's brutal for Fur.
And now we do have a tactical timeout being called here for SK. After losing 6 rounds in a row, they sort of throw in the towel and say, all right, let's everyone calm down and just talk about what's going on here. And this is the thing, though. Just objectively speaking, Astralis, in some ways, had an easier job trying to figure out what SK were going to play like because they'd been able to watch all those demos in those days, right? SK, once you figure out like a winning formula, it's very hard to keep winning with that same formula, right? Because everyone else is going to be looking at it and thinking, how do we break that? And that's maybe what Astralis are doing right now. It seems to be working. Now, how good is Fallen? It's almost a rhetorical question. He's one of the best, but can he come up with something on the fly here that's going to make it work for them?
Well, Fallen is just not getting into this game whatsoever. He's sitting on 3 kills right now. That is not good enough. FNX as well. And we were talking about FNX and Fallen. Sure, Taco, not the end of the world if he's sitting low on frags because he's the entry. He's running and dying first in general, trying to create space for his teammates. It's Cold and Fur who are having a decent game, but we need the rest of SK to win, or at least to start waking up here, because they're winning these rounds just decisively, Astralis. They're keeping between 3 to 5 players. Over these last 6 rounds, they've just kept 3 to 5 players alive every round. That is not good for SK. That just means that Astralis' money is going to get stronger and stronger here.
Yeah, it's already slightly out of control, I would say, so we'll see if it's going to work here for them.
They're going for the strat onto B. That split through connector. There we go, but Glaive was ready. He trades a 1-for-1. Device is able to back off just in time. FNX took too much damage, and Glaive is going to pick up a 2nd kill. And surprisingly enough, I mean, this is another one of SK Gaming's strats that they've really been favoring recently. Not going to work there for Device. He gets caught by Cold, but the damage is done. It's Taco alone. At least they get the bomb plant out of it.
I mean, it's something that we have seen before. I think last time it was just the 1 person that ran through. This time they had 2 in C connector. I definitely love it, but it wasn't quite successful. Glaive picking up another quad kill here for himself, so he's just doing a very good job at the moment. That's 7 rounds in a row for Astralis. I almost feel like they're sort of giving SK a taste of their own medicine here. They're locking them out of the T side.
Yeah, if you have a flawless remainder of this first half here and end it 10-5, that's a pretty respectable scoreline to go into the second half with. You pick up that T-side pistol and Astralis, this could be the nightmare scenario for SK. This is SK's map. Mirage comes next, and that's Astralis's pick. And they are very solid on that map. So it really does come down to this first map here for SK Gaming. We'll see. Already it's going to be that full buy, and this is how they're changing it up, SK Gaming. Okay, then they're changing it to a double op setup. Fallen and Coldzera both sniping this round. Device has the AWP for Astralis. But it's still 7-5 lead now for Astralis.
So probably going to be a lot more pick-based. They really want someone to come and fight one of these orbs early on here. Fallen, he's only going to be waiting around for so long before he moves up. But they are back to that whole waiting game. And Astralis, the most aggressive we've seen them be so far is either Device in main, or there was one round where Kirby pushed down to the bottom of Ivy and then sort of fell back quickly. That's the most aggressive they've been. So I'm not sure if SK need to win or sort of wait the full, 40 seconds here. They could probably just go a little bit quicker, because it doesn't seem like Astralis are interested.
Shots in there. I mean, this is how they've adjusted here from Astralis as well. In case that mid smoke goes down on that A site, they're holding very aggro right now, close up to A main. They want to be able to just punch SK Gaming in the face as soon as they come through that door, and there you go, Device. He's got an AWP.
And the big weakness with this kind of setup, just in case you're wondering, is if you lose Ivy control. Then suddenly Dupree and Device, like if Kirby goes down in this setup, Dupree and Device have way too many angles to cover. So that's the flaw in the system, but we'll see if it's going to work out. Oh, Fallen, nice peek. Shoots Device right in the foot, and now he's trapped behind here. Fur gonna go for the kill, and he gets it as well, but Dupree with a quick return, and Kirby gets the really important frag there on FNX. Fallen and Coldzera left here. Great shot coming out of Fallen, takes down Dupree, but we're down to 8 seconds. They need to get this bomb plant right now. If Coldzera dies, the round is over, and he will. Fallen, he can't win it any longer. It's a great double kill, but they needed just a couple of more seconds there. What a great attempt from SK. That could have really worked.
It's the best job they've done so far for SK. They actually killed 3 players on Astralis this round, but they're running that clock down so low that it gives them no room for error. That's the thing that we keep pointing out repeatedly. If you're going to try and make that push happen with 20 seconds left, you need to hit every shot. You're just not allowed to let Astralis get a man advantage on you. They can then pressure you when you try and put that bomb down, and with so little time, you have no choice. You have to try and stick the bomb. It just forces your hand. So SK right now, curious to see if they're going to go for the rush, or they're going to line up. Taco, he hits the shot, he saves himself, but that was way too close.
And his teammate, that was a really, really big kill there. They're going to try and be quick out the yard again. Kirby with a little flashbang coming in. Can he go for the shot here? He will be going down. Glaive, he's been doing so well previously. He's going to have to pick up a lot of kills once again. The backup is coming in from the B-bomb side as well. And Molotov goes out. No bomb plan yet. SK just slow playing this one. Fur getting a great double. Actually a triple overall. SK, instead of rushing for the bomb plant, they try and take the fights early on instead, and they win them.
Yeah, that's the dual kind of heavy style that they wanted to get going there. You can just feel the frustration for Device as well. You saw from his perspective, Kirby just stepping in front of him constantly. He's just like, let me take the shot, get out of the way. But that was SK Gaming with a turn of speed, and it actually works. They finally break the 8-round streak that Astralis had going for themselves. 8-6, we're into the 15th round now. We get to find out, are SK Gaming going to go for a similar play, or are they going to try and change it up and hit this B site? It's only Fallen over by A main right now.
They did take top dog control, so already a sign that maybe that's what could be in store, but they're bringing the bomb back towards B right now. Device and Sip. Sip is in a great position now here that actually Taco likes playing himself, so we'll see if that's going to be working out. Taco's out an A yard right now, just making a lot of noise, trying to distract from the B-bomb side. Sip is going to be the one under a lot of pressure. He's way out in the open, gets caught. Dupree gets caught as well, and Device going to miss the shot. Not a good setup for a round here. SK may be able to swing it back just to the end here. It's a nice headshot for Glaive, but it's already so far gone. They've just lost too much time already. Kirby with the flank is not going to be working out. They already know it.
Yeah, Fallen is prepared. He's prepared for this kind of flank. Incendiary is going to go down. That's going to force Fallen out into the open, but he doesn't care. He roasts alive, but he hits the shot, and that saves it. 8-7, the final score here between both of these teams at the end of the first half on Train, with Astralis in the lead. I mean, that was actually an excellent recovery at the end from SK Gaming. The fact that they finally managed to just break through. Astralis, I think it's more of a sense of Astralis kind of faltering at the end more than anything.
They're going to be just fine with this kind of scoreline, SK. They're definitely going to be happy with it. We'll see how it ends up in the second half. It's going to come up right after this break.
Intel Extreme Masters Oakland is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, G Fuel, Kinguin, iBuyPower, Best Buy, Totino's, Acer, and Xfinity.
Welcome back here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the second half coming up between Astralis and SK Gaming. First semi-finals here at IEM Oakland, and it's going to be, I mean, still even crazier. We end up at a 7-8 scoreline. Now, maybe someone could have predicted that, but it's hard to see that it happened with Astralis winning 8 rounds in a row, and then still, I think SK coming out ahead in this first half. I think they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, that's the issue, is that you really need to have a dominant CT half if you want to stand a chance against SK Gaming, because their CT side, this is how they win on train, this is how they crush teams on train, is that you just cannot break their defense. And so now we got to see, are Astralis capable of putting up a fight here on their T side device? Just making some noise over here towards PopDog, breaking the windows, alerting SK to the fact that, hey, we could go for an A push, but Fur is already taking over A main.
Yeah. Can't be ready and waiting for him, but actually does less damage than he receives. So now Fur is still feeling more brave, just goes to this fight anyway. The confidence on this guy, and maybe for good reason. He is currently top fragging in the game with 16 kills, so you can't really blame him for feeling a little bit confident at the moment. Now they do have 4 players out in this yard, and Taco extremely defensive over B. So if they went B Astralis, the bomb plant will probably happen. Now let's see what they do. Still more than a minute left.
FNX is posted up here in PopDog as well. So they really are trying to set everything up to shut down completely an A play. But Fur is now rotated over towards Connector. Taco starting to commit a bit more towards that B site. And so SK Gaming starting to doubt themselves, not quite sure what the play is going to be. FNX, though, with the info play, making it, taking those risks. That's what SK need to do here with 40 seconds left. They need to figure out where Astralis are coming from, because there's soon going to be 3 players just charging through this smoke towards Alley. And there's the boost, so that tells it all. Follow needs to hit a shot, and he's not going to do it.
Cold Zero up here. This is an unusual position. He's going to get a great kill. He got one on Glaive on the other side too. Sip around the corner. He needs to pull his weight here. And it's going to be a great double kill device going for the fight with Taco behind Electric. Not going to be working out. Taco alone though. 20 seconds. If he has the bomb, they have to charge him. They can't really waste any time. They can maybe group up a little bit, but now Taco has the chance. He's going to get the one, but he can't get the other. Kjerby with a big kill. And Astralis going to win the pistol on the second half. And I almost feel like that was the first requirement. If they didn't do this, I'm not even sure they would stand a chance.
Oh, absolutely. But what is this, opposite day? Yesterday, every team was winning their CT pistol. Now today, it's T-side pistol here. SK won the pistol in the first half on their T-side. Now it's Astralis going up 9-7, winning their pistol. 3 rifles and 2 UMPs. And while the force buy coming out from SK Gaming, no surprise there. They are a team that likes to be aggressive with that Kevlar buy. But Fur has pushed into Pop Dog again. And with that CZ-75, he can just blow somebody up.
Taco with a deagle, not quite going to take the fight there, but he has been known to hit shots with it. Grenade not going to do too much to further. Glaive right at the edge. This is a little bit scary. They really can't afford to give up any rifles here, especially when they have armor. But with a little bit of luck, Astralis can at least make this the first 3 rounds, which would leave us at a pretty interesting 12-7 scoreline.
Oh, FNX. Looks like he took a bit of a fight already. He's down to 7 HP. But with a minute left on this clock, Astralis, they're going to have to start clearing out some of these areas. They've got Brown Hall's control now. Zipnix has worked his way over there. Dupree has been hanging around alley most of this time, so this is the last spot. If they want to hit A, they need to get A main. And Fallen is there to back up FNX as well. You better have a flash to open things up.
This could be a quick death for Device. You're absolutely right. The C-set close range, especially if Fallen hits the first shot, then Device is not even going to have a chance to reply. Now, more people are grouping in, so we'll see how this turns out. We're down to 37 seconds here, and they're going to make their way around the corner. Oh, but Device still wins the fight against FNX. That's a bit unfortunate. There was a really good idea for a setup there, but now they're a man down on the SK side, and trying to see if they can hold on to this one. They don't really have the equipment for it, and they are going to get overrun. Device continues to get killed here. A couple of them in there with the UMP, and Cold Sierra now lone 1 versus 5 with just the Deagle in the back line here. Can't get the kill on Dupree. It's a flawless round, and that's going to definitely help out their money.
That is the beauty of Cold. He always just looks so cool and calm, the Terminator. I mean, it's machine-like, but it's not going to be doing it this time around. SK Gaming, I mean, mainly to me, that is just Astralis. And this is like the new Astralis as well. If somebody gets tagged on Astralis, we've seen them in the past kind of freeze up, lock up, not really go for the push. Astralis in this round just barreled into SK Gaming, showed no hesitation, just completely overran them. And this is what you need to have that effective T-side. Smoke goes down, same smoke that SK Gaming have been favoring, and Kirby actually going to take a lot of damage. But Device, this is the same exact sort of scenario here that Taco likes to use on SK Gaming. Get right up behind that smoke and then start to create space. He's worked his way all the way up practically to alley right now, and Cold Zero could get shot in the back without even seeing anybody. Hello.
Man, that's a bit of a shame, but they did go for a bit of a risk here in defending B, so I don't even think Cold Zero is going to be that upset. It's just, you know, almost a little bit funny at that point in time. FNX going to be going down as well, and a good cleanup coming in here for Astralis, and that will put the scoreline at 7-11, and we'll see how much further they can continue now that SK do have rifles, including Fallen with the AWP. Both him and FNX were largely invisible in the first half. They need much more out of those 2 players.
That's the main thing, right? Fallen, he's up at 8 now, but FNX is still at 3. And that's been since, what, 10 rounds ago. He has just not been able to get anything going for himself here. So this second half, when he needs to go in second or third, he's going to have to start hitting some shots. FNX with the FAMAS as well. So we have to find out exactly how they're going to approach this, because Astralis once again going into default, and this is exactly what Astralis are so good at. They'll just spread out across the map and play it slow. Zipnix clears out Brown Halls, and in the meantime, a little bit of pressure here towards alley.
Wonder if they want to go for a boost here with Device and Dupree. That could be what they're setting up for if they think they can catch Cold on the other side. You see Cold is definitely ready for it with the FAMAS, so a bit of a mind game going on here. We'll see if it has the most patience. They have again left Taco alone. A young player, and there's a lot of pressure playing that position alone.
It's no fun, because you're just dealing with rushes most of the time, and you just need to be in the right place at the right time when they come rolling down ramp, and that bomb is rotating now.
I will say this, I think what Taco does really well in that bomb site when he's alone now, he's got Fur for backup, but he's very hard to kill. He actually tends to stay alive for a very long time, which is huge, obviously. Now, down to 40 seconds. Astralis is playing a very similar style as SK was. They're just waiting to see if anyone's going to be pushing. Now that they're not, it looks like we are going to be seeing a bit of an A hit, but not with the wall of smokes, it seems. They're just going to try and get in here. They do have an enormous amount of Molotovs still left on the T side here. Fallen. Oh, how does that miss? So many people. And there it is. He's going to be taking a little bit of damage and actually goes down to Zipnix AK. Picks up FNX as well. That's a huge entry. See if Taco can bring it back. He's already picked up one. The bomb is being planted on the other side. It's a 2-on-3 now. Sipnik's continuously wrecking them in this round. Triple kill for him so far. They need to get this round back here, but Device is going to be taking down Taco, and Coldzera gets a headshot, but it might not be enough. It's a 1-on-2, and Dupree will end it. How did that first bullet from Fallen not hit?
Might have caught him through the edge of the train there, because it looked like there was some damage dealt, but still, I mean, the fact that he didn't get the kill and then he got caught, he nearly picked up Zipnix as well. If it weren't for the Kevlar, the lack of Kevlar on Fallen, I think Zip would be dead in that scenario, because it wasn't an instant headshot that did Fallen in.
And you know, it's not that I religiously check Twitter all the time, but I did see that Lopez was tweeting. Actually, Sipnix just also was almost not doing anything in that B-bomb side, and every time they came there, he didn't get the kills, and he needed to step it up. Right now, he is. That's a very important round, obviously. Taco looking for the kill, but Sip, a little bit of backup behind him as well in case that went wrong. They're going to get 2 entry frags here for Astralis, and that's 12-7 as a scoreline, probably going to be 13-7.
Oh, well, first time that Astralis will like to go towards the B site in this second half. So there is that, changing it up now. They know that SK Gaming are on pistols, and so we'll see if this continues to be a trend, if they're going to go back towards A when they know that SK will have the rifles. But, I mean, FNX also, that's the main issue there, is that Fallen, he gets his pick, but when Zipnix gets spotted out in the open, I think FNX needs to get that kill so they can focus on the guys coming out through A main and alley, and so we just didn't see that. SK Gaming are just having some trouble hitting their shots right now. Fallen is going to make it a little bit more expensive here with the 2 kills. Oh, gets another one as well. Bomb is ticking down. He's going to force Astralis to spend a lot of money in the next round. They do save the AWP, so at least there's that, but
wow,
that bank is going to take a little bit of a hit. Dupree starting the round with 12,000, though. That's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, every little bit matters here, and I'm still not really buying it. I still think there's a chance that SK could just pull in that Iron Curtain and just completely lock them out, but the problem is they are lacking the money for it. This time they have it, but if they lose a round, then they're right back to saving again. Device going to be quick out on the yard with the AWP. Fallen on the other side with his. Up on the train, and he's going to win the fight. Great shot from Fallen. That's how you start a round.
Excellent work. Excellent work. I'm curious to see if they're going to even make the play to try and pick up that AWP. This is something that SK Gaming can definitely do. Get that lockdown going with the double op on CT side. But not quite yet. There's the flash, trying to make the play, and Dupree not going to make it work. Coldzera not blinded at all. And Zipnix has worked his way out onto the B site, and that bomb somehow needs to get here to follow him up, however. And he's not going to get the first shot. Taco just barely survives.
Very close there. Glaive also going to be going down. That drops the bomb, and now down to Kirby, 1 versus 5. The best he can do now is damage to the players that are already low. It's going to be a quick shot, but only thing they get. A great job on the Brazilian side in this round. I'm almost panicked at this point that FNX isn't able to do more. Someone needs, I mean, it's almost, I mean, we're sort of nearing the end of the game here. Almost worth using a timeout and just maybe...
What, shaking him?
Shaking him, slapping him in the face, saying, come on, man. This is a really important map for us. But they do finally pick up a round. Let's see what will happen now. This is really interesting.
This does feel just like a back and forth sort of scenario, though. Astralis with some very handy wins to start off their half. SK Gaming survived with 4 players in the last run. And now Astralis, exactly what SK Gaming were trying to go for themselves when they started to experience some trouble. They were trying to go for a very quick play. Had there not been that incendiary, I think they would have just tried to rush Taco down on that B site. But there is a little bit of an attempt at a change of pace here from Astralis. They are still grouped up, and now Zipnix clearing out those brown halls. They can still work their way back there eventually.
Look at where Fur is. This is beautiful play from Fur in this round. Astralis actually put up a smoke outside in the A yard. Fur flashed himself through it and went to look what was on the other side. That's something Astralis never did like that. That's some really proactive play. Now, he knows that they're not sort of sneaking out there anyway. He can get the information to his team, and he's taking up position in Pop Dog. That's just individual decision-making that's very good, and a little bit of a mind game. If there was anyone up that ladder, then they'd be able to hear the smoke going down, and maybe they would forget to be careful when they came down the ladder.
This is going to feel real rough, however, for SK, because they just rotated FNX over towards the B site. They had 4 players on that A site. And with 40 seconds left, Astralis are ramping up to try and hit this A site fairly soon here. Fallen, Cold, and Fur are the 3 men alive. FNX and Taco fully committed to the B site, so they won't be able to make it back here to help very quickly. There is going to be a big opening here for Astralis to just run them over. Fallen out in the open right now as well.
Fur and Sip are actually right next to each other over at the other side, so that's an interesting battle as well. Coldzera going to be going down. That's a good start here, but we're down to 17 seconds, Astralis. Where is that bomb plant going to happen? Fallen gets taken down. Now they're on the side. Can they actually get it here? It's a 2-on-2. 10 seconds left, and Glaive, he's got 11 health to get the bomb plant down. Can he get it? FNX out in the open. Now would be the time for him to finally pick up a kill. Glaive is down, and now Device. Can he stop the defuse? That Molotov going to make his life difficult. The flick not going to be working out. He sees them on the site, and he has no grenades to stop them with. A flashbang maybe going to buy a bit of space here, but it's not easy. And Taco will clean it up for a double kill. SK, what a close round, but they do win it. And FNX got a kill as well.
All right, timeout called here by Astralis, but I like that. It's just like, an FNX, he got a kill. He did his job, and that is what he needed to do. CT side, you get that one kill. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you get that one kill, and it could make the difference. Fallen as well, he missed his first shot, but he was still able to trade 1-for-1. That bought time for Fur to step in and actually pick up a kill of his own, and they just got whittled down, Astralis, surprisingly enough. They just weren't able to keep up in that scenario.
Here's the mad thing that we didn't see because of all the action that was happening on the A-bomb side, but Fur actually went up the ladder and walked around and sort of jumped down while Sip was going up the stairwell from B hallways. So they just circumnavigated each other, and eventually Fur ended up coming out and helping out. But that was a completely crazy fight, all on its own. A lot could have been decided by that. If Sip gets the kill on Fur over in those hallways, maybe all of SK suddenly think, wait a minute, it's a B push after all. We have to, rotate people out. So a lot was decided in that one moment there. 23rd round coming up, and just 3 seconds left in the time here, and we'll see if SK can continue. It's only 2 rounds in a row, and that last round was expensive for them.
This is just a mirror so far of the first half, right? Astralis go 5-0. Now SK Gaming have chained 2 rounds together. Astralis, however, because of how dominant those first few rounds were, they have the money to go for a full buy again in this round. But this is where Astralis is starting to run out of their bank. They need to get that bomb plant in this round if they want to keep forcing against SK Gaming. Fur realizes that Glaive is real close.
Oh, and Glaive going to be falling back. That could have gone either way, I feel like. He's made a little bit of noise out here, and they do have 4 people stuck on it again for pushing into main, but Taco's going to be the real player here. Let's see if he's going to live up to the hype. Not this time. Sip going to be able to take him out, and Dupree with a big kill on Fallen. Now SK have to think, do they want to do this, or do they want to fall back? They are so far fighting for it. FNX picks up a good kill there on Device. Still a 4 versus 3, and with the bomb down, a lot of this is on whether or not Fur can make this flank work, and he can't. Glaive will pretty much cancel the round here for SK.
Yeah, this pretty much ends it. FNX not going to win his duel versus Dupree, and now it's just cold. Everybody is taking damage on Astralis, but the thing is that bomb is ticked down too far. He has a kit, and he would just, he would win every duel. You can trust in Cold. These are the kind of situations that he excels in. The only issue is he just doesn't have time to hunt them all down. So it's over in this round, and Astralis, they change it. It's not going to be a repeat of what we had in the first half. Astralis are going to break the streak after 2 rounds here. SK Gaming now, they're in a bit of trouble.
Oh, great stuff there. Coldzera managing to save the AK and making the round more expensive. It's still going to be 14-9, and a tactical timeout being called from SK. I do have to highlight this again, because I realize we're not seeing it on camera. There's no reason why we should be, by the way. But it is just, First playing so well at the moment. You saw his early engagement with Glaive, right? Where the smoke was up, and you heard Glaive inside the smoke. Then, when the smoke fades, Fur actually goes to check main. He actually finds out for his team what's going on. That's a really good play. And it could have maybe won SK the round. I don't think they had enough time to rotate anyone and tell about Taco. But the idea itself, you see many players are never willing to do that. They are scared, they don't want to risk it, they don't want to be the guy to make the mistake and go down early. The Fur's playing just a really high level of Counter-Strike at the moment.
He's not showing any hesitation, right? And this is actually after his surgery, right? The main concern with Fur, and that you could see SK Gaming struggling. They heavily rely on him going aggressive like that. It is his key, it's like his signature style. And SK, they figured it out when he was gone that, hey, wait, we actually really count on Fur to make these kinds of plays and get that info or find a kill. And so he's only just now getting that confidence back to be willing to go for those kinds of pushes and to try and play his old game again. So good to see it, exactly. Straight into Pop Dog here. And again, trying to set a trap for Astralis.
He's here very early on, you're right. Look at this round, though. They have the AK. What a nice peek there. That's actually very clever. They've bought the M4 for Mars. A little bit of pistols here. A bit of a fight going in. Fallen trying to win it. And with some backup, he's going to be able to take down Kierby. That's a very, very good early kill there. Even gives FNX that AK.
This is painful now for Astralis. They're low on grenades, SK Gaming, sure, but they have 4 rifles to work with and a man advantage. Device is very low as well. A lot of this is going to come down to Dupree, and he's not going to find the opening. He does actually spot them out, but he does no damage, and then Fallen peeks at just the perfect time. Doesn't matter that you're throwing the flash out, you're dead. Zipnix, Glaive, and Device, the last 3 alive here for Astralis.
I love the change for SK. That aggression now. This time they had a double peek into main to try and win that early fight. Very, very good stuff. You bet you at this point the cogs are turning for Cold Zero and Fallen. They are really trying to figure out how do we get back to that rock-solid defense that we've shown time and again here. Down to 35 seconds as well for Astralis.
Winning a force buy would do that. I mean, when your backs are to the wall, this is the make or break round for SK. They spent all of their money this round, so if they lost it, that's it. Astralis pick up train, and we're going into Mirage with Astralis in the lead 1-0. Now SK Gaming, they've really given themselves the best chance here to extend it. There you go. Yeah, he's going to find FNX. FNX just can't catch a break.
He really can't. Sip, on the other hand, on the T side has been very solid. So I don't think it's going to make a difference now. Obviously, just 10 seconds left here, so they can't really do anything. You are right. It would be a huge boost to Astralis if they could take this map away. On the other hand, if SK make the comeback to 16-14 here, how devastated would the Danes be? I mean, obviously, at that point, that would just break your spine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be over at that point. Like, that's where it is just so hard to come back from it. But then again, SK championship winning team, Astralis once upon a time championship winning team. But they have been showing great form, Astralis, and we have to see if they're actually going to be able to just get through this semifinal. If they can get into the final, it's going to get real fun. But look at this aggression from SK Gaming. They haven't gone for this play yet. 4 players boosted or just pushing into Brown Halls, looking for the aggro fight. They're going to catch out Zipnix, who's only got the UMP.
Man, it's going to be hard for Sip here. He does almost take down Cold Zero. I mean, it's not exactly great, but it sort of works out. Grenade going to go too far past Glaive, who's going to follow up behind them here. But SK realized that the default, what they had planned going into this match, has stopped working, and now they're just trying a lot of different things, and that's working. Credit to Fallen right now for coming up with these things, or Cold Zero if he's the one helping out.
Oh, the perfect time for the incendiary. That's going to roast Dupree. He's taking so much damage. He has to use the smoke to cancel it out. And in the meantime, Fallen will take down Kjörby. 2-man advantage now for SK Gaming in this round. 14-10. Astralis still battling, but now SK Gaming have got it on lock. Unless Glaive can hit a crazy headshot on Taco, but he's not going to manage it.
Yeah, his team is quite far away, so it's not even like the space that Glaive has been creating here they could really use for anything. It is just going to come down to headshots here if they want back in this round, Astralis. He's buying a lot of time, but I actually thought maybe they should have just pushed main there, but they are going to be pushing back in towards B. 30 seconds left here. Glaive getting shot through the smoke. Not a good time at all. And SK, suddenly they seem a lot more alive. Fur going to be going down, but it doesn't matter. Device has to save this orb.
20 seconds left, and they know exactly what's happening here, SK Gaming. You already have Fallen pushed into A main. He's going to hear Device stomping around. Yep, checks it, knows exactly where he is now. And Device going to be coming around the corner right into his waiting arms. Perfectly done there by Fallen. Cuts off Device. No possibility to save that op. And now, well, the money is wrecked for Astralis. They have nothing in the bank. It's going to have to be an eco round here for them. Whereas SK Gaming, they get to just continue to establish themselves. They're going to have a full buy going into this one. 14-11, Astralis in the lead, but it is looking like SK Gaming, they're starting to hit their stride here, Anders, on that CT side. This is how they break teams.
If you're an Astralis fan and you're not scared, you should be. This is something that SK have proven 100 times over that they're capable of doing, and it's one of the reasons why they're such an amazing team to watch, because they somehow just find the strength. They pull it back, even when it seems like they shouldn't be able to. Taco all the way back here, and obviously with no armor right now in Astralis, it is not looking good. 26th round here. No giggling, Sumner.
I'm trying not to. I mean, hard eco, basically. This should be just a quick mop up here for Taco. They should not be able to catch him off guard, although they are going to give themselves a good fighting chance. If you rush upper and just try and drop down onto the site, you might be able to get that bomb planted. That is the hope here. Taco and Fur stacked up, and there becomes the cascade of men just dropping onto the bomb site, and it's a success for Astralis. They're going to get that bonus 800.
Not bad at all. They get the 1 kill so far. Fur having a bit of a weird fight with Sip here, but I don't think he's going to come out on top. So actually an ace for Fur in this round out of nowhere. He managed to get all of those kills. So
Eco Cobra! Okay.
An ancient reference. I think maybe only Heaton will remember. 14 to 12 at the moment. The 27th round now coming up. And Astralis, especially because of the bomb plant, they've got a good shot, but it looks like they're maybe going to go for a bit of a pause here.
Yep, the tactical timeout. I mean, they've only used, this is their second. So they are just going to be slowing it down now, trying to figure out what exactly it is that they need to do here in this key round. They have 30 seconds to discuss it, and Glaive is doing a lot of hand-waving and talking right now. So you can be sure that on his side, both in-game leaders, in fact, Fallen, also just trying to get his troops pumped up. They don't really need to change anything right now. It seems like SK Gaming, it's just like, keep doing what you're doing. It's working. You know, just sit, take your duels, take your shots. It's the pressure on Astralis now to try and figure out how to crack open a site.
I mean, the issue for SK is 2 of these rounds that they've just had, one was a push into main, one was a push up the B slope. If Astralis are even thinking a little bit, they will start this round slow. Well, there's no point. Like, they have to expect that SK will be pushing Ivy next or something like that. So they've got to play this round slow, or they've got to push so fast that they can't get caught off by anything. Those are the only 2 options. If they just sort of meander around here a little bit, then that's just weird. They need to be prepared for an eventual push.
Well, it's 14-12. Astralis still in the lead, and Zipnik's taking over Brown Halls very quickly here. Glaive is there to back him up as well. And so now with the map control here for Astralis, SK Gaming are going to be the ones who kind of just have to cross their fingers and hope, unless they can make some kind of aggro play. There is Fur waiting over by Pop Dog. This has pretty much become his MO this entire CT half. Just watching this angle, focused on A main for now. But FNX is going to be setting up the smoke, it looks like, or some kind of angle over here towards Pop Dog.
Again, Taco alone, when you look at the map, it just looks like such a weakness to have Taco there. But obviously, he's been doing a great job, and the rotations from SK are also so good. So, but if I was Astralis right now, and I knew this would probably be the choice for me, is try and win that fight against Taco early on, get the bomb down, win the round. 12 to 14, the scoreline here. And they are starting really slow. So this is a round again where Astralis were hoping, I think they're probably hoping that SK would go aggressive so they can catch an early kill. And SK haven't. They're slow playing it as well.
They are really, they're just so confident in their ability now to hit their shots when Astralis make the push. 30 seconds left for Astralis. They're going to run out of time. This is going to get that edge of panic going, and now it's on Astralis here. Can they actually crack onto the site? Fur not going to win the duel straight up. Device survives with 6 HP, but then you still have Fallen alive on the site. FNX there to back him up, and this is turning into the lockout. FNX with a second kill.
Great job, and what a time for FNX to come alive. That's the triple. It leaves Dupree alone with 8 seconds. He can no longer do this, but he has to go down before the clock runs out. He's trying to fall back, gonna get caught by Fallen. 13-14, they creep slightly closer here. And we're gonna go into the 28th round. This is exactly what Astralis, I mean, this is a nightmare come true for them right now.
Yeah, no, especially if you take that tactical pause. That's your full buy round. You have all the money necessary. FNX, though, really coming alive. Been quiet this entire map, but gets 2 key kills in a pivotal round here for SK Gaming. Definitely stepping up at the right time there for his teammates. Astralis, though, it's going to be that half buy now. Tech-9s, Kevlar. And while we've seen magical rounds in the past, Anders, where there's a lack of pressure when you have the Tech-9s, you're kind of thinking, oh, it's a throwaway round. You show just a little bit less fear, and you go charging in. You have teams that actually thrive in that sort of scenario and win these kinds of rounds. So we'll see if Astralis are going to be able to make it happen, because they're going for that default A smoke round now.
Those smokes are going to be good insofar as SK are behind the wall currently. They are trying for a bit of a boost here. Cold Zero, this worked last time, and actually a team kill coming in. Dupree taking out Kiebu. Can they at least get the bomb plant? Not even going to happen. Cold Zero with the triple, shutting out the Danish team. That's going to be 14-14. The scoreline is tied up here. This is only the semifinals, only the first map of the semifinals, and already we have this.
Zonic just looks stumped right now. That's gotta be so frustrating for him. He can't talk. He can't communicate with the team. He just has to sit here and bear it. Nuts, but this is tied up now. 14-14, you're right. Device has gone back to the AWP. Fallen, of course, has got his. And very early Brown Hall's take here from Zipnik's. Incendiary all the way to the back. And the flash there onto the lower ramp that allows Zipnik's to get this part of the map under control. And SK Gaming, they went for the hard counter to an ace and to a default ace execute smoke round. They had 2 guys pushed up close to A main, and now they're going to be focusing on alley. It does look like they are going for a little bit more of a spread out hold here, SK Gaming. 2 players on B this time, 1 to back up Taco.
And they've already checked main SK, so they know that there's nobody there right now. Taco and Fur, can they hold on to it? It's going to be a pretty quick B push coming in here. Taco down on the floor of the bomb site. Actually, it's Fur with the Molotov getting the kill. Taco gets one, but it's Fur with the triple. Quad kill, and FNX going to help out. SK now at map point after Fur, the monster, picking up 4 kills. He's at 31 overall.
Leading the way. Fantastic map since the beginning. And there is the next pause to come in here. The timeout. They have 1 left, Astralis. Might as well use it in the 30th round, right? This is where you're like, admin, can we take 60-second timeout, right? We haven't used one of them, but...
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This whole game, even when he hasn't been getting kills, he's been playing for information, he's been setting up his teammates, and 31 kills. Fallen and Colts have certainly done their job as well, but if it wasn't for Fur, this would have been Astralis' map already. And now there's a very real chance they could lose it here. I can't even imagine the pressure.
No, this has to be overtime, and when it's this is the key map here that would actually just give Astralis such a good chance at a 2-0. If SK pick it up, this is SK Gaming's map, then we expect it to go 3 maps. We expect it to go the distance because Astralis, their next map here is going to be Mirage in this best of 3. They should be favored on that map, and we should be going to Overpass to finish this best of 3 series. But Astralis, I mean, what's it going to do to their heads when they know that they were so close to just locking SK Gaming out, getting an upset win on SK's map, and giving themselves a great chance at a 2-0 to go into the finals?
That's the big question. Can they come out of this with a feeling like, all right, we did much better than we thought, now let's get to our map? Or are they going to think we should have won it and that was our chance, and now, you know, we don't have it, we can't actually do it? It's very hard to tell. This team has a history, at least the core of it, of doing exactly that. They stumble and then they fall and they never get up. So it's a real question that has to be asked.
They've been spending a bit too much time around Liquid, I think.
Yeah, maybe some shared DNA there. Fur and Taco over at the B bomb site. Sip alone there, maybe could sneak out to make a bit of noise and open up down towards Ivy. If they can just pull back either FNX or Cold, that wouldn't be too bad.
Cold is willing to play it passively. He doesn't care. He's got that AK, and he's just holding that angle, off angle as well, just very open right now. Maximum information gain for him. He has Fallen supporting him at A main, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that, and FNX will be keeping an eye on Pop Dog. Fur and Taco holding solid on the B side, but eventually they're going to have to make the play here, that rotate, because this is just a catch-all approach here from SK Gaming. They are counting on Cold to start off strong here to find that first shot. He's got to get the info. Can he make it out alive? Yes, he just barely does, but then he goes for the overpeak, and Kierby hits the headshot. Fallen is there to trade, however, takes down Glaive.
Fallen is kind of locked in. He needs FNX to stay alive right now. Otherwise, this is going to be almost impossible. Fallen getting run down at the moment. He goes around the corner. He's got the tech down at fighting device. He's going to win the fight. What a big kill coming through. The bomb will be planted with 3 seconds left. And now Dupree and Kierby left. Can they hold on? Can they get to overtime? Taco, there it is, 16-14. SK Gaming steal the map away from Astralis and win the first one. Very, very well done for the Brazilian squad here. It was their map pick, but still, you got to think that was a really hard-fought battle.
That's unbelievable. That was so close. And of course, you have Immortals. They are here. The cheering section for SK. What a comeback. That looked so close for Astralis to be able to get the job done in this first map. But now we're going to go ahead and throw it over to the experts to hear what they have to say about this first map of the day here. Take it away, Alex.
Oh, Anders and Semler there, thank you very much. I've had to undo my top button. I feel like I was under as much pressure as Astralis. There's such an incredible comeback from SK, or do we start taking the choking word and discussion? Astralis so close to closing out SK's map pick. I mean, I love the tweet actually coming in from Lurpus saying that in this game alone, Astralis have got more rounds on T-side train than the last 5 opponents SK have encountered on that map.
I just want to say that there are few things that are as satisfying to me as watching Anders like squirm as Astralis is, losing a big lead. But it is easy to point out and say, okay, Astralis another lead, and they throw it away. But you have to understand they're playing the weaker side, the more difficult side, against probably the best team in the world on the map. So it is going to be very difficult in full gun rounds to take those rounds away from SK. And that's why I believe when it was 14-9, when they were in that round where SK had a very weak, a sketchy bite, that was when Astralis had to close out the game.
I mean, 7 rounds back-to-back for SK on their CT side, Sam. It looked like they couldn't break through.
Well, Astralis had it they had their opportunity when it was 14-9 to 14-10, both those rounds. 14-9 when they pushed in to C-mid on a broken bye and they ended up winning that round. And then the 14-10, if they would have won that, I think they probably would have still broke their economy. Having said that, one of the things that people need to realize when you play this SK team is that they preemptively adapt. So when it was 14 and Astralis kept going outside, they kept going outside, and it wasn't working, it wasn't working. Guess what SK says? They preemptively adapt. They say, okay, this is generally how people call the game. It's not working here, it's not working here. Let's go to inside. And what do? Taco baits perfectly for Fur. Fur gets a 3K, and they win that round so easily at inside. I think it ended up in a 4v1 or a 3v1 or whatever. Teams need to realize that. When you play against SK, it's preemptive adaptation that you have to watch out for.
And the round before that, Taco was alone on B, and he was playing super passive all the way back, so they were expecting that A hit. But I think it's also very important to note in the first half, so Astralis does a great job after being down 5-0, losing pistol, losing first gun round. They win 8 rounds in a row. But those last 2 rounds that SK wins, the way that it took them a long enough time to really figure out how Astralis was playing, but Astralis did a great job of realizing that SK either goes like really fast towards the outer bomb site, or they really slow it down and go for an execute with 20 or 30 seconds left. So they did a great job of saving like incendiaries for late into the round. And then towards the very end, SK goes for like a small fake to bait out the utility from Astralis and then actually push towards the bomb site and manage to brute force their way in. And those 2 rounds gave them just enough room to work with in the second half, because they had a bad start as well, to manage and make that comeback.
And SK looked really shaky at the start of that half because like they used their utility really early on the first gun round. They bought FAMAS's, and then they didn't even take advantage and go aggressive or anything like that. So I was pretty worried for SK at the start of that half, because I thought fundamentally they weren't playing it right. I think Astralis, as you said, played it very proper on that CT side. But at the end of the day, SK had so many things. They had the slow default, where if you use your utility early, they kind of force it out of you. They have a bursty strat, right? Where if you use that utility early and they do it later on, that bursty strat, they're gonna take it out of you. Then they have all those scrimmy plays that are so hard to combat, where the margin of error of victory on the CT side is like, you make one mistake and you probably lose the round. So they had like the whole playbook on that T side, SK did.
Yeah, some serious innovation as well. What did you guys think about Cold Sarah's boost on Ivy? Quite a, you don't see that play too often.
They do it all the time. They're the team that does that the most. Cold is able to not only look over the smokes when they smoke back 5 there, but if they come Ivy and they smoke out that side, it's a complete one-way for him. So he's up there all the time, and it counters all these other things that you want to do. If you want to smoke out the right side, it's a one-way for him. If you want to go outside, he could still see above it. And they're the team that utilizes that by far the most.
My question now has to be, Astralis being so close to taking a win on SK's map, looking spectacular throughout the majority of that first and indeed the second half, until those 7 rounds in a row came in for SK. Is that going to be the end of that mental game now, Janka? You know these players all too well. This is a tough pill to swallow.
You would think it, but actually, as soon as the game ended, you could see like Kirby getting up and cheering the players, and they were like high-fiving, like, "We did a good job, guys. Like, we lost the game." So I don't know if it's a bit trying to force it onto them. So
playing
it's like,
a brave
it doesn't
face,
matter. It doesn't matter playing a brave face, right? But it's actually way better than just having people there sitting in their chairs like, how did we lose this? So this is SK's pick. As we were saying in the pregame, you don't expect from Astralis to win this map. Yes, they could have done it, but now they're moving on to their own pick, and that's where it's going to be super interesting to see if they can actually compose themselves and coming into Mirage.
So if you are realistic, Sam, you actually, the discussion they're having now in their team huddle, it would be, we weren't expecting to win Train. Forget about how close we got, right? Like that's the mindset they have to have as they come into the
they're saying right now, hey, we lost that and it's whatever, but we're going into our map pick on Mirage, and then we just beat them on Overpass. So we feel like we're the better team in these next 2 maps. That's how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Having said that, I know you said that you think SK needs to win this 2-0, but at the same time, SK still has like a good chance of winning Mirage. I don't think they're definitely going to lose or anything like that. And Overpass is like pretty back and forth. It was 16-13. That could definitely go either way. So maybe Astralis is a little bit favored on both maps, but it's not anything crazy. So when you go to it, SK has a really good chance of winning as well. I think it's pretty 50-50, honestly.
Well, with the first map done in our first semi-final today here in the Oracle Arena, we want to have ample time to discuss the second map. But before we can do that, some more CS has been played in our break. It's the second segment of the Totino's CSGO extravaganza, where Henry G and Sadakist attempted to show us what they were made of. We'll find out how that went, and then we'll be back to talk about our second map.